Hello, you naughty little possums. Welcome back for another crab-grabbing episode of the Funny Business Podcast. Everybody get together for a booty drop. Matt, how you doing, my pal?
You didn't have to bring the naughty little possum into it. I thought we left that in season 1.
No way, man.
God damn it.
Did you realize Harry and Netflix, like both of their Instagram accounts, are having a little flirty flirt? A little, a little banter, as Chloe said in season 1?
No, I have not seen that.
Yeah, so Netflix is having the hots for Harry Jowsey, who was part of season 1 of Too Hot to Handle. So,
Douche.
Matt, how are you, pal? Sorry I had to bring up some bad memories.
I'm not off to a great start, I'm not going to lie.
Okay.
So I texted you that I wouldn't be long because I just got home. I had things ready. I was a little longer than I wanted to.
Yeah. Oh, no.
I gave myself, I think I did this a few weeks ago that I mentioned on the podcast. I gave myself a paper cut in the same spot. I already had a paper cut.
Oh, is it the third time?
It's the second time, I believe. And it just started gushing. Yeah, I was opening up a piece of mail I got, and lo and behold, ironically, I got the first paper cut opening mail at work. Okay. And this one, the exact same spot. One of the most painful experiences of my life. But you know what? I'm a paper cut survivor, and I will get through it.
It's too bad you couldn't get it at work, or else you could have had workman's comp. So I think that would have been a difference if you'd got it at work versus getting it at home.
Yeah, paper cuts are just annoying. Like they're just you know what? I feel stupid when I get a paper cut. Does everybody else feel that way?
You know what I feel really stupid about? So Margot, Jenna's sister, and I have gotten this before. So we have light stands that we usually use for video shoots. And depending on if there's the light on it or not, if you twist part of the light stand, like it's in, like you could get it in 3 different heights. You could adjust it in 3 different ways. It actually could crash down and can pinch your thumb or your finger. And it's this huge, like, I want to call it like a blood spot, but it's just like this weird spot that, like, if you press on it, like it's a little bloody, and like you don't want to open it up. So I forget the name of it.
Blood blister, I think,
blister.
Or
That's
something like that.
Yep.
Yeah,
but blood blister.
Yeah, those suck too. I've had like 2 of those, and like it's weird because like you think to yourself like you do want to pop it so it doesn't like get like infected, but then like you don't at the same time because it sucks. Yeah, it's not fun.
Let's say you start a podcast, or you're running your own side hustle and have a bunch of links that you want your audience to know about. As a podcast, Matt and I have all of our social media, all of our podcast links, and other important things. Make it easier for your followers to find your important links, social media, and latest content by having it all in one page with solo.to. I'll be honest, I have used similar websites like this, but nothing compares to solo.to. All of your links are clean and easy to navigate. Have an upcoming video? It's really easy to make those changes. Plus, solo.to has opportunities to upgrade to include more customization, advanced analytics, and so much more. Solo.to is giving us a special opportunity for you to get 10% off if you create an account and upgrade. Be sure to go to solo.to/funnybusiness to create your account today.
First colonoscopies, now blood blisters. So, Matt, I hope that you're recovering. I hope you added a little cream on it on top of that. But Matt, speaking of cream, we're going to jump right into a fun review of Too Hot to Handle, baby. So I was very surprised by how quickly it has converted, I should say, how quickly we have been, where am I going with these words? How quickly we came to the conclusion of finishing season 3 of Too Hot to Handle. I thought it would have been a couple more weeks, but Matt, I realized that you watched it very quickly as well. And Matt, we've also found out too that some of our college housemates watch Too Hot to Handle too. Yeah. So we're not the only people here that are a bunch of freaking weirdos.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting show. I think a lot of people, not that a lot of people can relate to it, but I think a lot of people are intrigued by it just because the concept is kind of so stupid. It's funny and it's cool. And I thought this season, do you just want to dive in?
Yeah, we'll go for it.
This season was the best season yet. I loved this season. absolutely loved it. I mean, I liked the first one. Season 2, give or take, it was fun to say Melinda. That was really the only big takeaway from it. I loved this season, mostly because there were some twists and turns that like didn't see coming. That sometimes they make it way too obvious, and it's like, okay, you don't have to prolong this. We know what's going to happen. There were some things that I didn't see, and I just really enjoyed the people in this season. There's one individual I could not stand. But we'll get to that. Mike, I don't know what your thoughts were.
Yeah, so I guess the best phrase for us to say is third time's a charm. I think after the third time you film it, I think you have a better idea as far as what you need to capture. I think the crazy part about this show compared to the previous 2 seasons of Too Hot to Handle was that this season 3 was immediately filmed after they sent the season 2 cast home. So season 3 had no idea Too Hot to Handle was coming back at that time. They switched it around. They called it Pleasure Island, I think it was. Oh no, Temptation, or is it Temptation Island? I think it was Temptation Island. I thought this was
Pleasure. Maybe Temptation.
I think it was Temptation Island. I don't know. They came up with a fake name, and everybody's let's say predetermined notions were like, oh yeah, we're gonna have the best summer, we're gonna party, we're gonna have a bunch of sex, and we're just gonna have a good time. But I think they did very well in keeping track of everybody's story. I think we said that last season. However, this season, I think it was a better focus on everybody. But Matt, I'm just going to break down all the people that we'll be talking about. Not too much in depth, but just to name all of them. So the original cast, so the cast that arrived first was Bo, Georgia, Harry, Holly, Izzy, Jazz, Nathan, Patrick, Steven, Truth, and then there was a second round, Obi and Olga, and then the third and final round, Brianna, Harry, and Jackson. Matt, just by naming all of these, I think the one you didn't like the most was Steven.
I was not a big fan of Steven.
Yeah.
He was not the one I'm referencing.
Okay.
We can talk about Steven to start. He grew on me. I hated Steven from like episode 1 to 5. Was a complete douche.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell is going on top of his head with his hair. I mean, my lord. The original flow is bad enough. I didn't really like the pigtails, the man buns, the double man bun in the back. Dude, just shave your head. He would be a guy that like with like a little buzz cut with a little bit of head would look way better. Also, another thing on Steven, bad crier.
Yeah, he's so bad.
Ugly crier. Such a bad crier. That was my biggest takeaway from him from this season was I never want to see him cry ever again. He also had some great quotes, like something about like my mom want to come pick me up.
My mom picked me up.
Yeah. But he did grow on me as the season went on. I feel like he didn't really end up with anyone in the end, but I feel like he grew as a person. But I also feel like from episode 7 on, they just like didn't show him. Like he barely spoke. The only time they showed him on camera was when he was crying.
Yeah, I had the same feelings as you. I was like, oh man, like they're really gonna try to throw it. They considered him, and this is not any of us judging. Like this is straight up what they said in the show, which you could tell how crazy the show is. Like they quoted him as the bad boy of the group. Like he's gonna mess around. He was gonna be a homewrecker. He was gonna do all these things. And fortunately, he became a better person in my opinion. So was very happy. Matt, my second guess. Patrick?
I loved Patrick. What are you talking about?
I don't know. I just was like, I'm thinking. So Patrick, for those who didn't know, Patrick didn't find any love. Let's just say came a little bit passive aggressive. Decided to use the flower trick. Gave a flower to Holly first, and then all of a sudden was infatuated with Georgia, and then did the same flower trick again, and then sang to Georgia via guitar.
Cringe.
Very
cringy. Reminds me of Jesus from season 1.
That's right. And then they were like, oh, J, and I'm like, Jason. They're like Jason Momoa, and I'm like, no, Jesus from season 1.
Jesus, absolutely.
They did that on purpose. But I did enjoy Patrick for as much as unique as he was. I think he brought an interesting balance, and like you felt it to the core when he decided to leave on his own terms from the island or from the villa. It was very emotional for everybody.
Yeah, it was the same thing when Jesus left. Like, but the thing is that it was weird, and I don't know if you had the same thought when he first walked in, like on episode 1. I was like, okay, he's not gonna find anyone. Like, I just had that vibe, not that he's a weird dude or not that like I didn't like him. I just had that vibe that he was going to be Matthew or Jesus from season 1, and he just wasn't going to find anyone. Not that like he wasn't going to try. It was just, I don't know. I just had that vibe from the beginning, and I kind of seemed like he never really formed even a friendly romantic relationship with any of the girls on the island, which was sad because he seems like a nice guy.
Mm-hmm. And I think he was connecting more.
It was a sad.
He was connecting more with the guys more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
And like, not that it's a bad thing, but I think it typically, when it comes to the guys, I think they needed an anchor like Patrick. But unfortunately, the show is not meant for bros before hoes. It was more of being relation. I was going to try to find a really weird reverse way of that, but I have not.
I was waiting for it.
Matt, is it a guy or girl?
It is a guy.
Truth.
Not the one I'm thinking of.
Nathan?
Yeah.
Really?
Can't. What do you mean?
No, tell me.
What do you mean? All right, do we want to skip over Truth because he's just the douche?
Yeah, Truth left very early on in the show. He wasn't.
He's a player.
Basically. Wasn't tending to trying to improve himself. Like, he was still stuck in his old ways, and we saw that very quickly how that turned, and Lana sent him home. Bye-bye.
Yeah, as he should have. Nathan only thinks with his penis.
He does.
There is so many, like, Holly, for 99% of the show, Holly was trying to build that relationship, and Nathan's just like, hey, you want to go to the bedroom? It's like, buddy, maybe grow up a little bit. I hated Nathan. I actually thought from episode 1, I thought I was going to like Nathan, and then it just went completely downhill. I don't really buy that whole when he got sent off and went on his own retreat.
Island.
I don't buy he's a changed person. I just don't. Because even he came back and he's like, I'm a changed person, I want to build with Holly. And then they got given the suite. He's like, well, I hope I don't do anything. It's like, well, did you not learn anything? Like, I understand it's temptation, but like, you really didn't see. I think he just put on a front to try to act like he changed his ways. I don't buy it for a second. I think you know what? I'm going to say this. I dislike him more than Harry from season 1. Wow. And you know how much I don't like Harry from season 1. Wow. Yes. Total douche. Because Holly, I liked Holly. Yeah. Holly got a little possessive at times. A little early to get possessive. But she tried building that relationship. And remember when they first got the wristbands?
Yes.
And they were in the pool. And Holly's trying to talk, and Nathan's just like, are we getting this green light, or like, what's going on here? I was like, buddy, you're not even trying. It just pissed me off so much.
So Matt's preluding to some of the things that Nathan and Holly experienced on the island. Matt, take a whopping guess how much was deducted from them, I should say, from both Nathan and Holly.
Total. I know the one night alone they lost 69,000.
Nice.
They said on the show too, wasn't it like 90?
It was $145,000 that they lost.
That alone just that hurts my head.
So they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They had 8 kisses. Well, 7 kisses with the exception of rule break 7 and 8 with kisses. And then they actually had a home run. So they made whoopee, which was $36,000. That the other thing too, if you've been paying attention to Too Hot to Handle or just our own references, they actually doubled the prize fund this year. So instead of $100,000, it was actually $200,000, and then nobody was listening to it. So then they're like, okay, we're just gonna double the deductions from you when you kiss somebody or when you do it. How stupid was the loophole kiss?
Oh, the one
between
over the
Nathan
pants.
over the was it pants or was it underwear? I wasn't or boxers.
I think it was. I thought it was shorts. I couldn't remember. Clothing.
Anyway, what the hell?
That's just gross.
That's just gross.
Yeah. That was weird. And the reaction of everybody else was like, guys, that's kind of weird. Like, it wasn't like, oh, okay, that's a smart idea. Let's all try that. It's like, what the hell's wrong with you two?
So, Matt, out of all the guys, who would you think you would be best buds with?
Harry. Loved Harry.
Yeah.
Harry's a good dude.
We didn't cover Harry yet.
I thought he was down to earth. Like, really chill and down to earth.
He kind of, I don't want to say he bugged me, but how quickly his humor is. Like, when he finds something funny, he immediately laughs at it. As I'm laughing after it. Like, he immediately was thinking of something funny, said it, and then he laughed immediately right after. And you couldn't, take him serious at times, but I loved, Harry and Bo.
Oh.
I loved their relationship. I loved their experience together. I just loved, and for those, spoiler alert, they were the season winners, and I think they each won $45,000 around there. Each Harry and Bo won $45,000 each, and this was the first time in Too Hot to Handle history that they had a finalist as a couple.
Which I was happy with,
right?
Because honestly, April and I watched all the season with April, and we were talking right before the announcement, like, how do you pick Harry or Bo? Like, they both were they grew together, which was awesome. You know what else I loved about them? They weren't like each other's first choice,
right?
Like that at first they were just kind of friends, and then they're like, all right, maybe let's see if there's something there, and then they really found something special. So that was kind of cool to see, because usually, we see the pairings from episode 1, right
Very
away,
quickly.
like this person's going to go from them, this person's going to go for them. And they kind of developed a little bit later into the first couple episodes, and then they really blossomed. And I thought it was awesome.
Mm-hmm. I absolutely agree with you, Matt. Harry and Bo. He's a funny accent, but hey, we make fun of everybody else's accent. So, Matt, the girls, in my opinion, besides Holly, Georgia, I don't think they were a strong female cast compared to previous seasons.
Yeah, I think those two, throw Bo in there, really the only three that really grew, as a person. Georgia, I was happy Georgia was a finalist because she really grew up and battled some emotions and owned up to it later in the season. So I was happy to see that. Obviously, we talked about Bo and Harry. Bo really grew as a person. I think Holly grew originally too, because Holly at first with Nathan was just like, yeah, let's just go at it.
Yeah.
And then she really developed feelings early on, which is, not an issue. And then I think what really showed that there's a strong connection from Holly's point of view was when Nathan was originally getting kicked off. She just lost it, which was tough to see because I didn't know if they were going to be devastated as they were, and Holly really was. So that was kind of cool to see too. But yeah, everybody else, I mean, Izzy I liked Izzy, but not as much as the others. Jazz obviously left. Olga and Brianna, I don't really think they tried too well.
It's tough too, Matt, when they're introduced so late in the season too. Everybody has had, let's say, I think everybody had at least 4 episodes for them to, kind of be able to find, make their way through the water. And then you had the last 4 that showed up, last 5, I should say, that showed up. And they really didn't have an opportunity to participate, I guess is the best way to say. Because I don't want to be this person, but what if they kept Truth? And then Olga, Brianna, and then, Olga, Brianna, we knew that, Truth was, interested in women. What if they came on and then Truth was still there? I wonder what the concepts would be as far as, him still being on the show.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like Truth just wasn't ever going to change. Mm-hmm. So I think I was happy he went. Out of the new guys that came on late in the show, I loved Obi.
Obi.
I thought Obi was a cool dude, and he actually tried from the beginning.
Yep, he did.
Who did he go for originally? Was it Olga?
Jazz? No,
No, Jazz was off the island.
or Izzy?
Or was it Georgia?
I think it was. Oh God, it's been so long.
Here's some information.
Matt.
Just pulled up the country of Georgia.
The country of Georgia.
Yeah.
Oh.
You know Georgia's a country?
No, I know Georgia was a country. I thought you were like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought you thought state, but whatever.
No, I think I pulled up the country. Yeah, but I liked Obi. He seemed like a cool dude, and even from the very first episode, like whoever he was talking to, I don't remember at this point. He actually did try. Maybe it was Jazz.
Maybe it was.
I think it was Jazz. But he tried building a genuine relationship, and she wasn't interested. But he seemed like he really took that to heart when Jazz told him no.
Yeah.
And I think he's a cool dude. The other two guys, they were there.
Because I think Jackson had more of a thing with Izzy. Is that correct?
Yeah. So yes, that was my question. So one of the twists that happened in the show was that Lana went offline, quote unquote, for 24 or 12 hours.
Yeah, okay.
Which so many rule breaks happened in that time, and I am flabbergasted how stupid they all were. That was like, oh, we can do whatever we want now. It's like, guys, are you that stupid?
Do you know who I blame?
Who?
Patrick.
Why?
Patrick left the private suite, and Holly and Nathan wouldn't have done anything if Patrick was in that private suite.
You know what? That's a fair point. Because
blame Patrick.
Because honestly, he should have seen that Nathan and Holly weren't in the room when he came in.
Right.
And he should have been like, all right, I'm going back to the suite.
Yep.
But at that point, Izzy and Jackson kissed, and then they came back, and then they just didn't sleep in the same bed, and nothing happened. It just seemed like they never showed what happened between Jackson and Izzy, but it seemed like when they left the island that they weren't a thing anymore, and I was just really confused.
Mm-hmm. Now, Matt, I actually have an interesting question.
Okay.
So we've been through 3 seasons. I've been very consistent with my watching. Jenna really doesn't care any less as far as watching Too Hot to Handle, which totally respect that. But Matt, you watched it with your girlfriend.
I did.
How? And I'm not saying that Matt had other thoughts before we started recording, but how was it having a girlfriend watch Too Hot to Handle with you?
Honestly, it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Because she had different perspectives coming from the female side that I never would have thought of. We actually talked a lot during the show and shared thoughts and what would you do in this scenario, or what do you think of that? So it did kind of help me see sometimes I would just think oh, that person's just overreacting, but she would have a different perspective. And then I would see it more so from a mentality side of being in their shoes instead of just saying, oh, this is a TV show.
Right.
How stupid could you be? And I could see it from a little more of an emotional side, how they would feel in that scenario. So that was pretty cool. We tried watching season 2. We both just didn't love season 2, but we both enjoyed season 3. We thought it was the best. But I enjoyed watching it with April, and I think she did too. So like I said, it just gave me a different perspective.
So you rewatched season 2, or did you?
A little bit.
Okay.
We didn't finish it. Yeah, we couldn't get into it a second time.
But you knew what was happening already.
With season 2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You already watched the whole thing by yourself. So.
Right. At that point, she didn't see any of it herself. Right. So she was watching it for the first time. But season 3, yeah, it was definitely different watching it with someone, but I would definitely do it again.
You hear that, Jenna? We've been watching. We've been okay with Netflix shows. Friends from College we've been watching with Keegan-Michael Key. It's interesting. If you want to watch it, highly recommend Friends from College. It's episodic, so but yeah, I was really curious because when you said that you and April were watching, and I'm like, that's pretty cool. Do you think, Matt, people are tired of hearing our Anchor ad?
Yeah, probably. But let's be honest, if it wasn't for Anchor, we would not be doing a podcast.
You're right, Matt. Once again, we have to thank Anchor for helping us continue to make each episode. Y'all know how it works. Anchor is free. It's easy to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. and distributes your podcast to platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and more.
And you all know that you can make money too, even with the first couple episodes that you start with.
So why haven't you started your own podcast yet? Anchor is everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app today or go to anchor.fm to get started. That's anchor.fm.
So, Mike, when do you think we'll stop talking about Anchor?
Oh, man, Matt. You know what? To be completely honest, I think we'll be talking about this for a long time. Matthew, last question. We already talked about love the past two seasons of Too Hot to Handle, so I don't feel like we need to establish love. What do you think if a new season were to come out, which I highly anticipate another season will come out?
Yeah.
What do you think they should change in the show? Whether that's rules, whether that's, stipulations. What do you think? Thoughts?
I'm not a big fan of adding people in the middle, just because I feel like they're never going to get a shot to be a finalist if they're going to do this.
Mm-hmm.
I think also another change they could make is like halfway through the season, you increase all of the amount for rule breaks. So like if a kiss is 6,000, make it 9,000. Like if you want them to make deeper connections going forward in the show, make it more impactful if they do rule break, and trying to force them to try and build that relationship to get the green light so then they can have a kiss or whatever.
I have an interesting one.
Okay, I'm ready.
Halfway through the season, and I don't know how they would do this. I would give all the credit to the set design team. Halfway through the season, so like if it's 10 episodes, episode's 5, you put up wall dividers on every bed.
Oh.
So like everyone gets like kind of their private sleeping space.
I like that, because then they would think they'd be able to get away with this stuff, but they still wouldn't be able to. Yeah,
right.
I like that one.
And then
because we saw like Patrick that one night was like looking around, making sure no one's doing stuff. That wouldn't happen.
Yep, that wouldn't happen. But then like in the morning, I do like the concept of everybody waking up together and talking, being like, so did anybody break any rules? Like somehow the walls would come down after.
That would be cool. I like that.
Yeah.
I think I have one more question for you.
Oh, I'm ready.
Let's go back to something that happened. So Nathan was a finalist.
Yes.
Explain to me how it wasn't Holly. I understand he went through his own thing, but let me ask you this question indirectly. Who do you think grew more, Nathan or Holly?
You're gonna hate me. I think it's
Nathan?
I'm gonna say Nathan.
You buy it? You really buy what he's saying?
So let me tell you this. I did follow everybody on Instagram. Well, I didn't follow everybody on Instagram, but I did, what I should do. I should look them up. I usually follow the couple. Like, end of the season, I'll usually follow the couple because, hey, Cam and Emily still together. They just celebrated their 1-year anniversary a couple of weeks ago. It was kind of cool. They were at like a private castle they rented out. I was like, wow.
Badass.
I think Holly had already established improvements as soon as Nathan came on the island. Like Holly knew like, oh, like I want to be with this guy, yada yada, and like kind of kept that promise / trust, like kind of kept that, and was already establishing some improvements where like Nathan, you saw a drastic, like you said, that with his ding-a-ling and like had to be kicked off the island in order for him to actually think, which I don't buy that shit. Like, I don't buy that crap that was done on the island. Like, he used a puppet. He screamed. Okay, yeah, because screaming's going to let out all of your tension.
Yeah, that was great. He screamed like twice, and then the dude's like, well, now you got all your sexual frustration out. I'm like, what the hell?
Just takes it 2
I don't think
screams,
that's how that works, buddy.
Just takes it 2 screams.
And even with the puppets, like, he was being a child with the puppets.
And, like, yeah, like, being childish, like, to see that grow, yes, like, but I think it was just more of a producer standpoint where it's like, oh, like, we got to see this dramatic, like, improvement, and, like, there wasn't enough time for it to dramatically be improved. Like, I think if we had a couple more episodes with Nathan, we would have that opportunity to see those improvements from that.
I don't know. I just got a bad vibe. I didn't like Harry from season 1 just because he was a douche. I just think Nathan is just emotionally just immature.
He is.
And he's also just the douche. It's just a bad combination.
So, Matt, would you like to hear an update on how the couples are doing? Because thinking about it and obviously understanding it, it took a year for it to be produced and released. So this is 1 year later than what it was shot. So it was shot in 2021, was released in 2022.
Yes, we did look up some. Me and April found like conflicting things. So I'm curious to see what you have.
So as of right now, all the couples. So what I mean by that is at the show, they specifically got asked to be boyfriend, girlfriend. So that happened between Nathan and Holly. They are not together at this time.
Can't say I'm surprised. That.
And then as far as what I was aware of, Harry and Beau are no longer together. However, I found, it was just today. I was watching before we got on the show to record, but they're kind of back together, but I think they're just slowly progressing as they go on.
It seems like they're taking it easy, kind of like maybe becoming friends a little more and then seeing where it goes. I still have faith for them. I do
too.
I like them a lot.
But that's all I was able to find. I don't know if you had any like extra like romantic thing showing up.
We saw an Instagram story where who I have to look. I think it was Georgia. Was it Izzy? Or it was Georgia, Beau, and Nathan were at a nightclub together.
I think that was just the celebration of them being together.
Yeah, that's all we saw. I'm not saying that was romantically, but yeah, no, I think that's pretty much that. You summed it up pretty good.
So I have a hunch that it's the too hot to handle curse. If you win the money, you don't end up being together. But
who won in season 2?
Season 2 was Mauve and Melinda.
Yeah,
and then
damn.
Season 1 was stupid. They made everybody win.
I'm still upset about Marvin and Melinda. Still upset.
But specifically, Matt, with everybody's relationships, I was listening to the Too Hot to Handle 2 Extra. I think that's what they call it. Chloe hosts it. I think Chloe does a phenomenal job being a hostess. But they said that really what struck them as far as the I was going to say kink in relationship, but the separation in the relationship is COVID. They had a hard time trying to maintain a relationship because of COVID. And I think that really speaks for everybody as far as trying to handle relationships, not just loving relationships, but more so friendships, like trying to keep all those together. So if you don't have Fortnite or if you can't play video games together, I think you need to find a way to be together.
Yeah, it's tough. These people come from all across the country. It's crazy.
So yeah, Too Hot to Handle. Another season.
Well, it was a crazy one. Very crazy.
The good news is Love is Blind season 2 is coming out.
I'm so
February.
excited.
Yes.
So excited. I like Too Hot to Handle. I love Love is Blind.
I'm going to try to see if Jenna wants to watch Love is Blind.
Yeah. And then all 4 of us come on the podcast. We'll talk it out together.
That would be a journey where you would have to come up in person, because I think that would be fabulous to have all 4 of us together to talk about it.
I'm in. Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen, everybody.
Let's make it happen. Let's move on. Let's do some segments. Mike, you ready for some segments?
I'm ready for some segments, Matt. Are you ready for some segments?
I am. You know what we're doing. You're going to pick. What are we doing first?
Wait, do I say it and then the music plays?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Whoa. I feel empowered right now.
You should.
Wow. Let's start off with, dude, that's crazy. That was so powerful.
All right. You did awesome. You did great.
Hire me.
You did great.
Matt,
Do you want me to go first?
I'm going to let you start with this one, Matt.
Okay. I have a baseball one. And we don't have to talk about this too much because we mentioned it last week with the Hall of Fame. So we talked about Barry Bonds not getting in. David Ortiz was the only one to get in. Mike, David Ortiz's career on base percentage was .380. which is really good. Like that's not just a batting average. His on base percentage is 380. Very good. You know what's crazy?
What is crazy?
If you took all 762 home runs that Barry Bonds had in his career and you made them outs, his on base percentage would be 384.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah. It's just sad.
That's sad.
We don't have to spend much time on it, but that's just a crazy stat. Like, I saw stats of like before he took his first positive steroid test. It was awesome. He's a Hall of Famer before he took steroids. Which did he do to himself? Maybe. Whatever.
Yeah. I
What are you good? You good? I was trying to keep a straight face that whole time. Just for those not listening, Mike is just right. You're not watching on YouTube. Funny Business Entertainment. Solo.to/funny business. You can find on YouTube. Mike is just sliding down in his chair, and I'm just talking to his neck at this point, or I'm talking to his forehead.
It happens every freaking time. It's like every month, like it happens, and for some reason it goes down. Well, actually, I know the purpose, but it's a pain in the ass to try to keep the chair standing up, and like,
oh my god,
I literally like it started. I'm like, oh no. I said it's going down. I'm just gonna.
I was like,
I'm just
did he shrink?
Yeah, I'm going down again. Here I go.
just stand up for the rest of the podcast.
Just get to the pod. How about I'm just gonna adjust the camera. We're gonna find.
You know what? That's a great idea.
Yeah, we're just gonna.
Oh man.
Oh boy, this is uncharted territory. Sorry, Matt.
It's all good.
Yeah. I think again, Matt, just the argument with Barry Bonds, it's stupid. I think the Writers Association should leave. That's it.
Correct. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So Matt, you done cleaning lately? Done any cleaning?
Yeah, I cleaned up my room a little bit last week.
Yeah. Did you use any
some dusting?
You did some dusting? Do you have any
machinery
or household appliances?
No, I don't really vacuum anymore. I just take like a broom and like sweep up the stuff, my floor.
Gotcha.
Now they got like tile-ish.
So vacuums, Matt.
Yeah.
Vacuum kind of like an essential item of the household.
Correct.
Depending on what it is. I mean, if you're more wooden floor, you'll probably go with a mop. But usually carpet tends to be something for the vacuum.
I love vacuuming carpet.
So Matt, the less a vacuum sucks, the more it sucks.
Yeah, dude, that is crazy. Yeah. It's a nice play on words there.
Yes.
I love vacuuming.
I haven't vacuumed in a while because Mr. Jarvis takes care of it. Myself, my robo vacuum.
Yep.
If you have a small apartment like mine, take advantage of getting a robo vacuum, and you get most, if not all, of your apartment cleaned. And if you want to spend maybe once a month getting the nooks and crannies of places that your robo vacuum can't be a part of, take advantage of it. You had something to say?
Yeah. Did you send me that TikTok of the robo vacuum in the snow?
No.
Someone put like a shovel on the robo vacuum and it just shoveled the entire sidewalk. Yeah.
Smart.
That's next level thinking.
Yeah.
That guy's a genius.
Genius. Patent it.
Yeah.
Put it together.
Honestly, he should. That's not a joke.
Mm-hmm.
My second say what. So when people say that was the old me or the old you, like things you've done in the past,
Right.
isn't the old you really just your younger self?
Because if you're referencing the past, you were technically younger,
But it's also old. Like old, not new. Not
Right.
old, young.
It's
Yeah. Your mind's in a pretzel right now. Would you like some honey mustard or some nacho cheese with that?
honey mustard, because dude,
That's the wrong answer.
crazy.
Mhm.
So, or what about cinnamon? I love cinnamon.
I like cinnamon.
Cinnamon on a pretzel. Good
I've
stuff.
never had cinnamon on a pretzel.
I believe I have at Bar Louie.
Okay.
So I'm trying to assess this. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So you're technically thinking of like your past self, which is technically old, but
Mm-hmm.
technically it's a younger self, so you're young. So it's like
Mm.
a young and old, an old and young,
Yeah, a young old.
a young old, a youngin,
Yeah,
a young
youngin.
old.
Yeah. Master Skywalker. There's too many,
There's too many of them.
What are we going to do?
Oh man. Yeah, that wow. Interesting.
I'm not gonna lie. I had that in my phone for the last time we did it, and I opened my phone today to see what notes I had, and I was like, that doesn't even make sense to me, and I don't even remember having it in my phone. I don't know who put it there, but it's a good one.
Oh man. So Matt,
Mm-hmm.
computers,
Yeah,
lovely thing, right?
they can be.
Do you have any like internet accounts that you like logging on to? Twitter, Facebook,
Yeah,
Google,
yeah.
I don't know, something else. Trying to
LinkedIn.
think of LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
Matt, so have you ever had to do some like things as far as proving you're not a robot?
Yes.
Isn't it weird that Google uses a robot to tell if you're human?
Uh-huh. Yep. See, this is another reason why robots are bad, because we're having robots tell us that we're not robots, and they know we're humans, and robots should not be able to know that because they're going to kill us all. That is crazy. Yeah.
Just come to a
That's
conclusion.
insane. Yeah. It's scary.
I hate it when it's too difficult. It's like, listen,
Way too difficult.
I'm a human, but I am not a PhD candidate of human.
It's like the ones when it says like picks the squares that have a road, and then there's one that has like that much of the road, and I'm like, well, does that count? I don't know. And then I get it wrong, and then I'm like, I'm not a robot. Like, don't kill me. I don't know what to do.
What about the CAPTCHA? Like type in the letters that you see.
I hate it.
Those are
Sometimes they're so tough.
Yes.
They're so tough.
Like, there's no way a robot can do that stuff. Like,
Mm-mm.
even if it's like a programmed hack, like it can't do that stuff. It's stupid.
It's very stupid.
Which ones have you experienced? I've experienced the CAPTCHA. So it was, like type in what you see and it's like a bunch of combinations and letters.
Yeah.
Like you alluded to, click on the traffic lights or click on the buses. There's like 6 different pictures. 9 different pictures.
9.
And it's like pick the pictures that have a bus in it. And then there's another one that you say like, click the squares that have a sidewalk in it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever have the puzzle one?
No.
So puzzle one is like a picture and you have to slide the piece of a puzzle to the place that it needs to be placed in.
So it's like you have to click and drag.
You have to click and drag. So that's another one.
I never had that one.
Find a picture that's right side up. So like they give you a picture of like, we'll just use like a PlayStation controller and like you have to pick the picture that's right side up. So like there's pictures that are like it's sideways, it's upside down, it's on an angle. And it's like they do like ducks, rhinos, frogs. And I'm like, this is weird. So
Never had that one.
yeah, I guess I experienced it a little bit more.
Interesting. Well, we got some crazy stats out of the way. Let's wrap up the show with a little safe space. Let's get some things off our chest. It is time for Say What. And Mike, I went first for the last segment. You can go first for this one.
Yes. And meanwhile, Matt, I'm gonna try to see if I can get my chair back up again.
Go for it. I have faith.
I'm gonna try. This is great. This is great podcasting content.
Beautiful.
Is it? Nope. Nope. I'm going down.
Oh, you're going down.
I'm going down.
Matt,
Matt,
you yelling timber?
Timber, you better move. You better dance. Let's make the night. You won't remember. I think I got it.
Nice. No?
No,
Maybe?
no, I'm going down. I'm going down. Sorry.
It's okay. Oh, you're fine. Just let it happen.
I'm just gonna let it happen.
Yep.
I will fix it after.
Mhm.
So Matt, you're on the socials, right?
I am on all of them.
Most of them, all of them.
Most.
Matt, you're on a couple socials that have a chance to write text, correct?
Yeah.
Do you ever notice that there's this? It gets weird sometimes in like Facebook posts or like Instagram posts that like the letters seem to be a different font.
Like you make it a different font?
It's not that you make it a different font. It's actually called special characters. It is actually. I will try to find an example. So
Yeah, I can't think of one off the top of my head.
For those who don't know, it's special. It's called special text. Matt, I'm going to send you a screenshot of a text really quick. So
Okay.
you can. What the intention was meant to be for was for it to stand out a little bit more, maybe add some separation between your text, maybe add some things like a title or something. It is actually stupid. It looks so, Matt, I sent a screenshot to you. You see the difference between the special text versus the regular text.
Yeah, it looks dumb. Like this one just looks like it's like a title.
Right. And
Yeah.
like, okay, you're trying to make it a title. Matt, do you know that that text is not accessible like for a screen reader? It'll actually skip it completely or try to read it as like A accented L or L accented C. Totally inaccessible. And I think for people that are in a political office that use it is stupid. So anybody who's running social media for any political person, you should stop doing that because there's initiatives that are out there of trying to make it more accessible for your community members or for your legislators. Yeah, for your legislators. Yep. So stop that. Get some help. You don't need to put a fun text title on a social media post. Just get to the point. That's literally all it is. You don't need this whole prologue. Just get to the point. So,
like if I see a Facebook post that has like a title, I assume like it's like an essay, and I don't want to read it because I don't like reading.
Why?
Especially, I don't want to read a 5-page essay. Like I'm on Facebook, I just want to see a short post. Even then, I probably won't read the whole thing. So you're just wasting your own time as well as everybody else's.
Amen, brother.
My first one is going to be work related.
Okay.
So we work 5 days a week.
Yes.
And we have 2 days on the weekends.
Yes.
Why don't we just have 3-day weekends? Or, why don't we just have like 5 days a week, but like 6-hour work days? So my thing is, I feel like I would be more productive. And not that I'm saying I'm not productive at work, but to get my full potential, if I had like a 6-hour work day, or if I would only had like a mandatory 4 days of week at a job, I feel like I would be like way more incentivized to not work hard because I do work hard, but to focus a full day's work into my schedule. I think people would be more happy with their jobs and they would have a little bit more free time. A 3-day weekend would be, and there's countries in Europe that do this and they see great success. Great success. And I think it would be worth trying in a lot of areas of business.
So Matt, it's funny that you mentioned this because I actually saw an article from Inside Higher Ed. It reported that DeUville College is in Buffalo, New York. They have announced that staff and administrators would shift to a 4-day, 32-hour work week down from a 5-day, 37.5-hour work week they previously worked without any reduction to their pay or benefits.
Wow.
And it comes from the chance of a tight labor market, staff and faculty burnout, and many employees who become accustomed to working remotely during the pandemic are seeking more flexibility in their work schedules. Mm-hmm. Which I guess to add on top of that, if you can do your work from home, why can't you allow people to work from home?
Right.
as long as you're hitting goals and you're, hitting your numbers or you're hitting your stuff, like, why not work from home?
Right. Like if people are going to tell you, hey, I'll be more productive working 3 days in the office, 2 days at home. Like if they're specifically telling you that, try it out. If it works out, hey, you hit jackpot. Like
correct.
In today's day and age where, there's a lot of jobs paying a lot of money, you got to find creative ways to keep your employees. And maybe this is an avenue that more people should look into.
Matt, I have a bonus one that I actually didn't write down for myself. Do you have anything related to the Super Bowl?
I do not.
I think the Super Bowl should be on Saturday instead of Sunday. I
agree. I literally said the exact same thing yesterday while we were watching the championship games. One, they put it Saturday, or they put it Sunday like 6:30. The games are start till 7. It's not going to end until like 11:30. Everybody's got to go to work the next day. And then for all those people out there saying make Monday after the Super Bowl holiday, that's never going to happen. They're not going to do that because of a sporting event. But yes, it should be a Saturday at like 8 o'clock. Give people time to pregame, cook their food, and guess what? You get a full recovery day. Mm-hmm. There's no college football that you have to plan against. Literally everyone would tune into the Super Bowl. They're going to do it on Sunday, so make everybody's lives that much better. Do it on a Saturday. I think you're correct.
Yeah, it came to mind when I'm thinking because obviously Jenna's coming to my apartment this weekend, and last year she didn't have a job, and obviously I had my job, but she was able to stay because she was able to because she's taking clinical and it was online. She was able to take her clinical from my house. But we were able to watch the Super Bowl together, and I thoroughly enjoyed watching it with her. We saw the weekend, and I think it would make everybody's lives much easier. It was just great. So,
I agree.
Yeah. So bonus one. But what I do want to talk about is the music industry.
Okay.
Weird pivot, I know. Matt, there has been so many bangers on TikTok of people either jokingly mashing up music or actually putting in the effort. I just heard one that was Party Rock Anthem by LMFAO, and then Coldplay's oh gosh, I forgot the name. Coldplay. Where is this song?
Viva La Vida?
Yeah, Livin' La Vida.
Yeah, I don't know the exact name, but I know the song you're talking about.
Yeah, it's Livin' La Vida. Oh my gosh, it was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you sent me one jokingly. It was Low and Green Day. And like completely joking, but like I wanted a full version of that. And I think there just needs to be a way where, yeah, okay, for somebody who is a content creator and somebody who creates stuff myself for a living, is it fair for, what do you call it? Is it fair for people to mix songs that maybe you didn't want it to be in that taste? Okay, I get it. But I think people just need to relax. The music industry just needs to relax. Matt, we know T Swift's remix version of Marry Me. Come on, man. Like, I wish that was a full song. I mean, it is, but it's like not the actual like song that was on TikTok. I think creators are just given an opportunity to do these things that allow it to, go viral, first of all. But then second of all, once it actually gets out to the people, like the music industry, people tend to shut it down because they don't want their song to be mixed like that.
I agree. I'm all for remixes. Sometimes remixes are just better than the original song. Not that that's anything wrong with the original song. Sometimes remixes are just they're not meant to be. Sometimes they're just better. And I think as an artist, as long as you're listening to your lyrics, you listen to any version you want. It's still my lyrics. You're still listening to the song. And I think that's really the important part. I guess that's coming from my perspective. I don't know if writers would look at that way, but I think you're right. I think we need more remixes, and the TikTok remixes, you're right. They've been off the walls insane. The Low and the Beach Boys, it has been phenomenal. I absolutely love it.
Yep.
All right, my last one to wrap things up. This is probably going to be a very hot take, and I might get some heat for this. Mike, what's one of the biggest trends right now on like social media?
I should know this answer.
You should.
How is it? Is it a dance? Is it a
It's
challenge?
more of just a post.
Well, the last time was the 10-year challenge. Wait, give me a hint. I need a hint. I know it's a post.
It's kind of like a game.
Wordle.
Yeah. I can't stand it.
Why not?
I can't. I don't care. I just don't care. And I'm not saying Wordle is dumb, but if I see 3 lines and then you get on third try, guess what? I don't know. I have no idea what you're guessing. It's again, maybe it's fun and maybe I would like it. I would never post it because I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it. I don't care that you broke your elbow.
I don't care that you broke your elbow. Well, Matt,
I understand, like when teams post it, like trying to make a meme of it. I like that when they actually show the words. Like when you showed the words, that was cool. When they just post random blocks, I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, Matt, I'm glad that you asked. I'm actually gonna screen record
Jesus Christ.
I'm gonna screen record my phone right now, and we're actually gonna include this to the podcast. If I can get it with my new phone. Screen recording. No? Maybe that. Hello? Is it me you're looking for? Matt, let's play a game of Wordle really quick. So
I'm down to play it. I don't know. Do you feel the same way?
I tried it once, and I felt defeated. So
of the actual game,
of the game,
or is it just seeing the posts? I'm talking about just seeing the posts. That's my big issue. Don't post it if I don't know what you're talking about.
It gets a little annoying. But I guess the trend of it being like, oh, like I knew what that word was. Like when I got it was it last week? Yeah, when I got it last week, I then was seeing everybody else getting it correctly. So Matt, for the Wordle, give me a 5-letter word to start with.
Harsh. HARSH. I used 2 H's. That was a stupid guess.
So there is an H in this word.
Okay.
But ARS and then H again is not used in that word.
Okay.
You might want to write this down.
Yeah, hold on. I have my phone out.
Yeah, so harsh is the H is in the word, but it's the first H that is not in the right place.
Is that green?
So it's yellow.
So it's not first or last.
No.
Okay, so that's good. We know it's in the middle.
Right.
Is there a 5-letter word with a T and an H?
Yeah. There's THEIR. There.
Yeah, let's try that. Yeah.
Wait, right? THEIR?
Yeah, let's do that because that'll give us a vowel at least.
So THEIR. Oh, Matt, here we go, baby.
Oh, no.
T is yellow, H is yellow, and I is yellow.
Oh, man. That's tough.
Yeah.
You have any suggestions?
I'm thinking. I'm gonna try. Oh, so there's no A. Crap. Boy, this is great podcasting content.
Oh, this is so bad.
What about
That's tough. I can't think of a word with the H in the middle.
Yeah, you can't think of a word with an H. It's not there. It's not there. This is great. This is awful. I feel so bad. Whoever's been a long time listener being like, oh my God, I literally have to sit there listening to a Wordle. Yeah, so the T, H, and I is in the word. I'm trying to think.
This is so bad. God damn it. I apologize to everybody listening to
yeah,
this.
well, Matt, you brought this up, so why not girth? Let's try that. Girth.
I don't think that's how you spell girth.
No, it is Girth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I got I in the right spot.
All right.
I
That's
is
good.
in the second letter. I is the second letter. But wait, Matt, G. Wait, hang on. So am I right? We have all the letters. H-I-G-T. H-I-G-T. T-H.
Is it?
No.
There's no E, right? So it's not 8 E-I-G-H-T?
Nope. There's no E.
Right. No, it's not right. Night. N-I-G-H-T?
N-I-G-H-T. Oh my God, we got all the letters besides the first letter.
No. All right. So we know it's...
Is it light?
Yeah, it's got to be light.
Let's go, baby!
Hey, you hit it. Snaps. Snaps to us.
That was
Oh,
the worst.
man. No one is listening to this. But we could say whatever we want because everybody has turned us off.
Everybody's turned us off, so. Free merch for everybody.
Jeez.
Wow. That was great. Now I have to include that in the podcast.
Yeah, that was thrilling.
That was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. It was wonderful.
It's tremendous.
Tremendously great. So, oh, man. Anything else to comment for Wordle?
No, I think that's all I got.
So New York
Times.
Times just bought Wordle. So we may be seeing Wordle a little bit more now that it has a self-sustaining thing. So
again, I think they're fun to do. It's just, I don't know.
Matt, I'm so happy we experienced getting one right today.
That hurt my head. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. And I guess that concludes another episode of the Funny Business Podcast. Make sure you Wordle on over. Make sure you spell out SOLO.TO/FUNNYBUSINESS for all of our social media. And maybe you'll find some green squares and yellow squares in the meantime for that in between time. Mr. Matthew, what is your advice for the good people?
I'm 95% sure I've said this one before. Clean your room.
Clean your room.
Just clean it. It's dirty. Don't tell me it's not, because I know it is. It's got to be done once in a while, and this is your 3-month reminder to clean your room.
3 months. Do you clean your room every 3 months?
Yep.
So yeah, make sure you get your Wordles right. Make sure you wear your mask if you don't feel comfortable in the place. Get vaccinated. Anything else, Matt, besides cleaning your room?
I think so. I think that's it.
Yeah.
That's all I got. Just hopefully everybody's doing well.
We are doing fine, like a glass of wine. And until the next time, we'll see you all in the next episode.
Stay safe, everyone.